Thanks for joining us for the Hospitality Hangout, a hospitality-focused podcast where the founders at Branded Hospitality Ventures share their insights and bring technology and innovation leaders that are making things happen in the industry we love. My name is Michael Schatzberg, otherwise known as Shatsy, the restaurant guy. I'm coming to you live from the Multi-Unit Restaurant Technology Conference, otherwise known as MURTEC. That's right, I'm here live from MURTEC at the Paris Hotel. Honestly, I got to tell you, it's Vegas, but I feel like I'm in Paris. They have an Eiffel Tower. They have French cobblestone streets. Honestly, you have no idea. You think you're in Paris, but we are live from Las Vegas. Now, today, let me tell you, everybody listening, that we have a very, very special episode never heard before. Unfortunately, my co-host, Jimmy, the finance guy. Yes, Jimmy, the finance guy, was unable to attend MURTEC due to I can't get into it. It's too disgusting. It's too disgusting to even talk about, but something with his knee, there was pus involved. It was disgusting. Yeah. He's not here. But the show must go on. I did not coin that. Jimmy coined that. The show must go on. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we're bringing in a very special guest host. That's right, a very special guest host. Very few people can co-host or actually sub-host for Jimmy, the finance guy. There's only one person in the world. He's got great hair. This is his 11th time co-hosting or being on the podcast. That's right. He's done this more than Steve Martin has done SNL. We are very lucky to have one of the greatest of all times here on the podcast. Give a round of applause for our guest host, Mr. Sterling Douglas, co-founder, CEO of Chowley, who we also refer to as the technology guy. Sterling, welcome again to the show. Give us a quick intro and how excited are you to be back?
Oh, so excited. Every year I get to come back, to MURTEC in Vegas. We get to go to the most, it's the third most romantic place in the whole country, this hotel.
This is, because you feel like you're in Paris. Honestly, to me, it's no different.
And I'm excited to be back. I'll say this is the second time co-hosting. Last time I had to fill your shoes and sub. And let me tell you, I was really nervous. This time, filling Jimmy's shoes, really not that nervous. I don't think it's going to be too bad.
And I got to tell you, he has very small feet, like maybe an 8. His shoe, very small. For a large person, a very small shoe. Anyway, listen. So normally for our On the Road podcast, we pull off the trade show floor and talk shop. But today, we want to focus our conversation around Startup Alley. That's right, Startup Alley. It's presented by our friends at RTN, Restaurant Technology Network. And we are very excited to have a few of our startups in Startup Alley will be on the podcast today. But right now, let's kick it off with our first guest, a woman who needs no introduction, but I'm going to give an introduction anyway, who wouldn't even be talking about Startup Alley if it wasn't for this person, head of, founder of the Restaurant Technology Network, co-founder, Miss Angela Diffley. Angela, we had dinner together the other night. We had a lot of laughs. It was a crazy dinner. Let's get right into it. Tell us a little bit about you and RTN, and then we'll jump right into it.
Yes, thank you. I'm so happy to be here. And this is so energetic and fun. First time I've been on the podcast. Thank you for having me. I am excited to tell a little bit about Startup Alley. So Startup Alley kind of came to fruition 3 years ago. This is the third, I want to say annual, but we had COVID, right? So we had a year where we were all like out of commission. But
third Startup Alley.
It's our third Startup Alley. We basically kind of sat back and looked at MURTEC, and MURTEC's been going strong for, I think this is like almost 30 years. I think it's 27, 28 years.
30 years.
Yeah.
Is that breaking news?
I think that's breaking news.
That is MURTEC, 30 years in the business. Breaking news. You heard
now,
it
might be like 28 or something, but I don't know.
28
COVID,
you heard it live.
Record-breaking.
COVID messed us all up. But anyway, we're almost 3 decades into MURTEC, and we sat back and we were, a few years ago, and we were like, how can we inject the young entrepreneurial technology talent into this show that's been kind of this industry foothold where all these sponsors, I mean, let's face it, the big sponsors come in, they have the big bucks, they sponsor it and they do a great job coming every year and they love the show, they renew every year. And there's not a lot of space for like new people. I mean, we're limited by footprint. So we were like, how can we get the young technology talent in the industry and showcase them at this show. So we started thinking about it and we thought, well, what better place than the Restaurant Technology Network to nurture the talent, bring the talent in to the community, give them a voice inside the community, and also let them show up at Startup Alley in a big way, right in front of the entrance, as you saw.
I can't wait. I walked through it already today. I love it. Let me ask you something. How many companies you got in Startup Alley?
15 this year.
15 companies. What's the process for choosing the companies to get into the alley? If somebody listening right now has an early stage, great solution, making things happen, how do they get into the alley? What do they got to do?
They just have to apply. It's as simple as that. I mean, we have an application process that opens in the fall of every year, the year prior, obviously, to Startup Alley happening. And then we have judges that narrow down the field from like 30 applicants, usually around 30 to 15.
Wow.
Right. And the top 15 that all the judges agree upon have the highest scores based on criteria that are laid out. And they do their scorecards. They come up with the top 15 and those 15 are notified. And then they show up here with their.
So this is the third time you're doing the Startup Alley. And you're part of the selection process. You're part of that whole vetting. Have you seen a theme? Is there, the first year you did it, everybody was like kind of, this was the tech. The second year, that was the tech. And now this, or is it just great innovation across all verticals?
I would say it's gotten stronger, man. It's gotten a lot crazier. I mean, with the advent of AI and the AI solutions being layered into the newest technology that's coming out in the marketplace, almost every startup you walk through and you ask them about AI, they've either got it on their roadmap or it's already baked into their solution somehow, and it's fascinating.
I love it. I can't wait to go check it out, man.
Yeah, it's seeing more AI in the technology solutions too. There's so many use cases, and I think what we're seeing at Startup Alley is a great start, but there's a lot more to come. And I think when we see Startup Alley next year, you're going to see even more proliferation of the use of AI in some of this technology.
I think you're right, Sterling. I mean, when we first started Startup Alley, we would see things like online ordering, kiosk, like cool solutions, but things that were already around. They're just trying to build a better mousetrap.
Right. I love Startup Alley. I love it. But enough at Startup Alley. Yeah. All right, let's talk about, let's change topics and let's talk a little bit about the Restaurant Technology Network.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically.
You co-founded that.
It's a membership community. We are going strong now. I mean, we have over 300 restaurant brands associated. We have about 100 vendor brands associated with it. It's basically a way to bring the technology talent and the industry together to collaborate to solve unique challenges. And universal challenges, I might add. Standardization is a big, foundational element of what we do. And then just bringing sort of the industry together to sort of have a collaborative voice and a way forward to make things happen.
Yeah, and speaking of those collaborative voices, in addition to being here at MURTEC, but you also host virtual events and work groups throughout the year, right? Are these open to anyone or just RTN members?
Yeah, it depends on what it is. A lot of things we sort of make just members only, but if you want to come in and check it out, we always let you test drive and see if you like the community. For restaurants, it's free to join. Right? It's everything's open source for restaurants. Everything we build in the Restaurant Technology Network is for restaurants. We're doing it to help restaurants innovate faster. Bottom line. So restaurants are always welcome and free. Suppliers, I mean, that's how we kind of fund what we do, right? Suppliers come in, and then we also pack in MURTEC perks. We pack in other kind of benefits with HT and with MURTEC.
I love it. You are really helping the industry.
Kind of make it like a full-fledged community that can thrive and that can
I've been in some of these work groups. They're awesome, and they are pushing things forward.
You got to have great content if you're going to travel all the way to Vegas / Paris. If you come to Paris, you got to have great content. So I think you guys do a great job. Startup Alley is awesome. It helps us really see what's on the horizon for operators. The RTN is awesome. We've been involved in that since the get-go. Listen. We've got our other guests coming in right now. So let me get to our branded Quickfire. The Quickfire is probably one of the most famous segments of all podcasts throughout the entire world.
I'm nervous.
This is coming from not me. This is Nielsen Ratings has said. This is a bigger audience than the Joe Rogan experience, by the way. So Angela, don't get nervous. I'm going to ask you 5 lightning round questions, okay? Branded Quickfire, Las Vegas, Paris edition, live from MURTEC. Angela, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Favorite movie that takes place in Las Vegas?
The Hangover.
Nice. I like that. Yeah, I was thinking like The Hangover. Yes, it's Vegas.
I was thinking about that this morning. For
favorite Las Vegas casino?
Aria.
Interesting. Didn't say the Paris. I hope no one from Paris is listening, because don't you make that decision. Okay. If you were to get married or renew your vows at a famous Las Vegas chapel, Which celebrity are you choosing as your official?
Oh, it's got to be Elvis impersonator.
Yeah,
traditional.
Or just
gotta
have
be Elvis.
I mean, what
The
about
actual
Elvis?
And I would
Elvis
just do it in the metaverse.
Oh, there you
100%. Okay, true or false? Las Vegas is considered to be the brightest spot on Earth. 50-50.
True.
You are correct. You are correct.
Ding, ding,
It
ding,
is
ding, ding,
true.
ding, ding,
Ding, ding, ding. A winner, chicken dinner. And if you were part of a real life Ocean's 11 and needed to recruit one more person to join the crew,
just one.
who are you choosing, me or Sterling? Ocean's 11 breaking into the
Sterling,
casino.
he's got the hair.
Ah, see,
What is that?
there
How
you
is
go.
that gonna help?
I don't know, but it was a
help
great
you break
answer.
into the casino and
Yeah,
still billions of
Sterling.
dollars.
Distracts them while they
Yeah,
get
come
All right,
on,
listen,
come
Angela,
on.
I know you've got a lot to
Favorite
do.
guest today.
You're running a great show. Everyone's having a great time. We appreciate everything you're doing here. Thanks so much for joining us on the Hangout.
Thank you so much. Top 3 announced shortly, so stay tuned
All
for
right,
that.
stay
And
tuned,
Stay
everybody.
we'll have the
All right,
launch.
thanks,
shortly.
Angela.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
You bet. I got to tell you, Angela's doing some great things, huh? I mean, she's rocking it out. I mean, the Startup Alley.
It's getting better every year.
Every year getting better. All right, listen, we've got another guest just walked in. I got to tell you, we are very fortunate. Not only is this her second appearance. So she's right up there with, let's see, Steve Martin. I'm going to say like Billy Crystal on that sound.
Billy Crystal.
But second time, we've got Carissa DeSantis, CTO from Bricks Holdings, with restaurants kind of like Friendlies. Maybe you've heard of Friendlies and the Fribble, Red Mango, Orange Leaf, stuff like that. But Carissa is also not just the CTO of Bricks Holdings, a Startup Alley judge. That's right. We have a Startup Alley judge here today, and we're going to try and influence her decision of who she picks. We're going to try and find out who the winner is and announce it here ahead of the official announcement. We are going to try and do that today.
Leaks are encouraged on this podcast.
Yes. So here we go. Let's get into it. Carissa, nice to have you here. Please give us a quick background on yourself and introduce everybody to you.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And I think the last time I was on, you told me it was the most memorable podcast ever because I delivered barbecue to you in the studio.
Yes. I think I still have a sausage in the freezer.
So I think I'm at the top of that
Dickies.
list.
That was back in the Dickies days, right?
It was,
I think I still have some Dickies stuff.
Yep.
Always. Well, you've been at Bricks for just over a year now, right?
Yes.
Can you share some of the initiatives that you brought to your brands over the last year?
Absolutely. What haven't we done in the last year?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Pretty much everything you could think of. The Friendlies brand, as you may or may not know, has been around for 80, almost 90 years.
I mean, I was eating Friendly Fribbles when I was in camp, some ages 6 to like 15.
I'd say that's almost as old as you, right, Chelsea?
Yes,
wow, so it's been around as
80.
long as you.
I'm doing a lot of
great for
peels, a lot of avocado.
Avocado
keeping myself,
toast.
avocado toast. Yes.
Yep. So with that brand, their technology was pretty much that old as well. Fun fact,
the blender was their most hip technology on Friendlies, right?
That was their point of sale.
They were the second customer installation of Micros Res 3700 in 1996.
Wow, that is a fun fact over there.
Yeah.
So they are like, they are old.
Yeah. So we've ripped out everything and we're in the process of upgrading point of sale and infrastructure in that brand.
Can you tell us the point of sale you've decided to go?
Yes, we're rolling out with Revel point of sale.
Look at that, Revel, huh?
I believe a sponsor of the MURTEC conference as well.
If they're not, we'll just give them credit. Revel, great sponsor here at MURTEC. Thank you, Revel, for all you do right now. Awesome.
So you've been ripping in tons of new tech, a new point of sale, new online ordering, all these different things. So when it comes to that, which side of the 50-yard line are you? Are you a build it or a buy it? Because experience at previous stops you've had, I think you've done both.
You're going with the football analogy. Now, Jimmy likes baseball analogy. You like the football?
Dude, I'm not. I know you're not Jimmy. I'm not Jimmy. You know, I got to get my own spin on this. Like I'm a football guy.
I love it.
Honestly, it's 50-50. Everything we look at, we evaluate, whether we want to build or buy. On some of the other brands, we're working on some robotics and automation technologies. We've got a location opening up in a few months called Pizza Jukebox. That's going to have a robotic arm that makes pizzas for guests.
Nice.
And we're going to co-brand that with some of the other brands. The first one will be a Pizza Jukebox Red Mango. So super excited.
So wait a minute, you're going to go into a Red Mango and get pizza?
You can, yeah.
Made by a robot.
Made by a robot.
I would try that in a heartbeat.
I love it. I love it. So let me ask you. So what, as an operator, with all these stores, how many stores you got in the bricks?
About 300.
So 300 stores. You're over here at MURTEC. You're at the Great Paris Hotel. What have you learned? You're a judge at the Startup Alley, third year here at Startup Alley. What have you learned over at Startup Alley? What are you seeing?
A lot of really cool stuff. You know, there's a great group of folks over there this year, 15 different
15
vendors.
of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we got the pleasure yesterday of going through 2.5 hours.
I heard you were asking a lot of very, very deep questions.
We did, yes. Lots of questions.
A lot of those founders were a little nervous.
Yeah, no, they were shaking.
Yeah.
As they should. Chris is tough.
So who'd you like the best?
I can't tell you.
You see what I did there? You see what I did there?
Nice try, though.
You see what I did?
I saw you did. I saw you fail to get something out.
I just thought I'd be like, oh, who'd you like the best? And that she'd be like, oh, good. But no, you know what?
How about this? What was the most interesting type of technology you saw? What was the favorite type?
Is there a theme out there, or is like everybody doing online ordering? Is it robotics, automation? Is there a theme, or it's just a mixed bag?
I'd say it's a mixed bag. There's some voice AI. There's car navigation and technology there. There's a lot of operational efficiency innovation and vendors with that. So it's kind of a mixed bag, stuff all over the place.
All right, listen. There's a bunch of operators here, but obviously there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of restaurant operators that aren't here.
Yeah.
So for our listeners that aren't here and haven't been able to come to Startup Alley and see what's going on, if there just give me a theme. Like, what should they know about? What's in the pipeline? If you're looking at Startup Alley and saying that's the future of where the tech is going, what should they know about? Is there a theme?
I'd say the theme is really just, differentiating what technology is already out there. Like if you go through Startup Alley, there's some stuff on virtual brands, there's stuff on, cost of goods and improvement, different ways of ordering. I think at the session this morning, they were talking about having, is the word Zillennials? That's
Zillennials.
On the stage later today. And
from UNLV?
I have no idea where they're from, but there's a vendor in Startup Alley that does text ordering. It's 100%, text. And that's what I guess kids do these days.
Yes, yes.
So that's definitely something.
So who'd you like the best over there in the alley?
I'm not telling you.
Oh, you see what I did there? I tried again. All right, here we go.
Got her. Almost got her.
Listen, I know you got to get back to judging. Mm-hmm. A lot more work to be done before we announce who the finalists are and the winner. I'm going to ask you, it's branded Quickfire Las Vegas edition. I'm going to ask you 5 lightning round questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Your favorite movie of all time?
Princess Bride.
I love the Princess Bride.
Great movie.
Your favorite hotel in the world?
Hotel in the world. It would be a hotel in Croatia in Opatija.
I love it. I love it.
Right.
I've never been, but I got to tell you, I watched Game of Thrones, and apparently they shot a lot of it over there. So
which is
really nice.
Sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. If you were to get married or renew your vows at a famous Las Vegas chapel, I know you don't love Las Vegas. You don't come here very often. But let's just say you came here to renew your vows or get married, and you got to choose any celebrity in the whole world to officiate this ceremony. Who would it be?
I'd say Frank Sinatra.
Ooh,
I like old blue eyes. Yeah, that's classy. That is classy. All right. Speaking of Las Vegas weddings, true or false? Las Vegas has more than 300 weddings a day.
I'd say that's got to be true.
That is true. 300 weddings a day.
Ding, 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 ding.
I cannot believe that, but that is a fun fact. Okay. If you were to be part of the real Ocean's 11, remember Ocean's 11?
Mm-hmm.
Clooney, Pitt, some other people, okay? And you needed to recruit one more person to be on your Ocean's 11 team. Who'd you pick, me or Sterling?
Oh, goodness.
Remember, Ocean's 11, they're robbing a casino.
Yeah. And
billions of dollars.
They need someone really handsome and distracting and be a key person on your crew.
Who's going to be?
It's got to be Sterling.
Yeah, Sterling wins again. Ding, ding, ding. Chicken
Number
Dillard.
2.
Listen, Carissa, that is awesome. Thank you for joining us for your second time on the Hospitality Hangout. Appreciate you. Appreciate everything you're doing. And great work as a judge. And I'm going to ask one more question. Last question. Who's going to win the alley?
If you join us at 4:45, you'll find out.
4 is that Pacific time? Is that Eastern time?
It's Vegas time.
Vegas time. Vegas time, 4:45. We'll find out. Carissa, thank you so much. Appreciate you joining the Hangout.
Thanks, Carissa.
All right, awesome. got to tell you, Sterling, love having Carissa here. Love that she's a guest. I tried to get her to chirp on who's going to win, but she would not.
No,
she wasn't having it.
She's running a tight ship. I'm telling you, man.
I thought
tough.
I'd get her to chirp, but I got to tell you, I have been eating Friendly Fribbles or drinking Friendly Fribbles literally since I'm 6 years old.
That's amazing.
So I hope that I hope that they are reviving Friendlies.
It sounds like they are with all the new tech.
With all the new tech, I can't believe that they
point of sale
the original 3700. Yeah, I think it's time. Yeah. All right, listen, let's get to it. We've got now a very special guest. Okay, we had a guest. We had a judge of the MURTEC Startup Alley.
We had the founder.
We had the founder
of Startup Alley.
You know what we thought we would do now is we thought we would bring one of the contestants of Startup Alley here. So we are very fortunate to have the founder and CEO, Fraser Nagy. Fraser is the founder and CEO of Tables. That's Tablz.
Mm-hmm.
Don't confuse it with the Tables.
Hey, you can spell.
Sometimes.
Are you showing off right now?
If Julie writes it down, I'm a good speller. Okay. Fun fact: this is Fraser's second time on the podcast. Okay. His first appearance was back in January 3rd, so not even that long ago. So, and he kicked off our 2023 season.
He's blowing up.
So he is here from Canada, from across the border, right? Across the border. Welcome to the show, Fraser. Second time guest, CEO of Tables, and also Startup Alley participant. Sterling, do you have any questions?
Tons of questions.
Let's kick it off. Kick it off.
Are you the winner of Startup Alley?
I hope so.
That's almost breaking news.
Almost.
I
thought I might try to.
I hope so. In Vegas style, that briefcase of money that showed up at Chris's door this morning should help.
All right.
I think.
Well, how much money did you put in the suitcase?
It was all of the penny slots I made last night.
So that's probably not going to move the needle.
Dozens of dollars.
$53.25.
I've met several of the judges. I got to tell you, it's going to take a lot to sway their decision.
Yeah, that's true. This is your first MURTEC, right?
It's first MURTEC.
And as Jimmy says, I do got to fill in for him a little bit. You never forget your first.
And is it true that you were the first Canadian ever to attend MURTEC? Is that fact?
Yeah.
All right.
Look at that. You're the first Canadian ever to attend MURTEC.
After Wayne Gretzky, but it was a weird flyby. He was on the way to the slots. It was a blackjack table. Yeah.
How's your first MURTEC treating you?
It's good. It's great. Yeah. I actually flew in from Rio de Janeiro to here. I know. Does that get an exotic point award?
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, we've been talking about Croatia and all these beautiful places. That's awesome. How are operators and attendees reacting to Tables? Do you think you've got a good chance of making it to the final?
What do they say? What do they say?
Hope. Well, out of all of the startup participants, we're really the only tech dedicated to full service restaurants.
That's true.
In MURTEC, if you really look at a lot of the exhibitors as well, very, very fast casual focused here. So I don't know if that gives us an edge, but when some of the judges are coming from more full service background, you got to really appeal to them as diners, not as operators.
They may take that as a positive because it's so interesting.
Exactly. Seeing something a little bit more unique. What are some of the other participants that stand out to you?
Who'd you like in the alley?
There's a couple. I think some of this really interesting AI at the I'm still in here. AI for the drive-through tech, I think is really, really great.
AI that was brought up by Carissa.
Okay. And there's a lot of companies, I think, around, but there's one in the alley particularly that is really interesting. And I know that's gonna be a really tight and hot race in that space because I think there's gonna be a lot of exits, but it's gonna be a battle.
Save on labor and become more efficient. So AI and voice.
You can shave 3 seconds off of your drive-through time. You
amortize that over, 400 or 500 years.
It's the labor though for the restaurant, right?
That's a lot, over a couple hundred years.
Paying the 16-year-old rather than it's a different cost equation.
Listen, we had you on the show at the beginning of January. That was the first time we had you on the show. Thank you. It was awesome. It was a breaking news episode.
Every episode's breaking news.
We have a lot of breaking news. That's why the ratings are through the roof. I mean, we are now ahead of CNBC.
And the number one podcast
for breaking news.
I heard it was 11 billion viewers last time.
It's getting close. I don't know if it's 11 billion or 10 billion, but it's up there. I know it's bigger than Joe Rogan's show.
Yeah.
So you talked about rebranding or relaunching Tables as we knew it. So it's now 2 months, 3 months later. How's it going?
It's great. I think a big, even within Startup Alley, although we are just different just because we're in the full service space, but we are actually building a real platform here, right? We're really investing in, again, not something dissimilar to what Airbnb went through in its early days, is creating a distinguished feel, user experience.
Are
So
you saying that tables is the next Airbnb?
That's
Is that what I'm
heard.
hearing?
That's what I heard.
You said it.
Because full disclosure, we invested in tables. So if that's the next Airbnb,
Well, I
I'm
invested
loving
in
life.
Airbnb
Oh, you did?
when it was public.
No, I'm loving it. You know what? I got to tell you. So the rebrand is going well. I'm loving it that you were the next Airbnb. That sounds really exciting. So let me ask you this. Just last week, this is really exciting news. I don't know if it's breaking news, but it's really exciting news. Fast Company, incredible media magazine. I know it as a magazine today. Maybe it's just a media company, but always giving you what's the coolest tech and what the most innovative companies in every vertical. They just ranked you as in the top 10 most innovating dining technology company for 2023. I mean, that's awesome. What can you tell us about that? How much did you have to pay to get something like that?
It's a major honor, and I couldn't be more excited. And I think it's, certainly, Sterling, from a team perspective too, how important that is to some of the new team members, some of the other leaders. Like that recognition is very, very good for morale and keeps us in the, that hunger and that motivation day to day. So, thank you again to Fast Company for the recognition. And
this segment was sponsored by Fast Company.
Well, we got to shout out because, at our stage as well, we're really just entering sort of the end of our first year post-COVID and as a brand new business. So we got to recognize we're still at the start, and to get that recognition is
I love it. And is it the first time that I know Fast Company does these type of most innovative companies? Is it the first time they went specific and picked most innovative dining company? I don't recall them doing something like that.
I don't know. I know they've really broken it down into categories.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's an exploding category, man.
Were you ever in Fast Company most innovative? Was Chowie ever listed?
No, we never got as good as number 9. No, but it's always good to stay hungry because next year, you got to push for number 8.
I feel like Josh Goodman at Pour My Beer was a winner of Fast Company at one time. Yeah,
another branded company.
Yeah, I think Brandon gets a lot of Fast Company winners, most innovating. We pick them. We pick them like that.
Great.
So what's next for tables?
Tables, well, we got to keep, I think at so many times, we got to keep to the business plan right now. It's one of those times of the year where you don't do anything crazy. We have a great team. We're getting to market. And as you guys know very distinctly, after Valentine's Day into the summer, this is the period of very important growth because it is crickets over December. It is crickets in August. So, we're in a business cycles in restaurants, right? You got to follow those cycles, and we're heads down right now.
I think something that I've been thinking about all last night is as you continue to look to grow tables. And we talked about this. I mean, no better place than New York City. We've got 28,000 restaurants, a lot of full serve, fine dining restaurants. So I think you got to plant the flag in New York City, and you got to you got to come to B-Works with us. Sterling's at B-Works.
Oh yeah, we
got to bring tables into B-Works. Get a little place you can, throw your hat. Get from Canada to New York a lot more, and be with us over there. And I got to tell you, we'll have a lot of fun. We'll go down drinking, we'll hang out, and we're going to get you a lot of restaurants. So that's my idea for how you're going to grow. That's my idea for tables for 2023.
That just sounds like a lot of fun for you. Are you just trying to get people to hang out with and go get drinks?
I'm looking for some friends.
If you need some friends, yeah. You sound lonely.
I'm looking
you
for some friends.
Lonely.
So Sterling, last night when he offered up his couch, do I take that offer when I come to New York, or what?
I got to tell you, it's a great space.
It's a
great
test.
space.
So
and
be careful.
Yeah, well, Chowley bought Koala just a couple weeks ago. Great company, and Brett and Koala are based in Brooklyn. So he's always been at B-Works. So he's going to be spending a lot more time there.
We had secret meetings at B-Works.
Yeah,
that's where it goes down.
There was stealth. They were in stealth meetings. They came in dressed up in disguises. He was wearing the big nose with the mustache with the glasses.
I don't need to wear a big nose. I have one.
He has a big nose.
Given to me.
All right, listen. I know you got to get back over to that startup alley because there's a lot of people over there looking to talk to you about tables. But before we go, Brandon Quickfire Las Vegas edition. Are you ready? I'm going to ask you 5 lightning round questions. Don't think too long. Don't think too hard. Are you ready, Fraser Nagy?
I'm ready to go.
CEO and founder of Tables. Here we go. Favorite movie that takes place in Las Vegas?
Oh, I guess Fear and Loathing comes to mind.
There we go.
Favorite Las Vegas casino?
Oh, I'm not a casino guy, so I've only been to one casino in my life, Caesars.
Okay. You can't go wrong with Caesars.
Wait, you've only been to one? You're in a casino right now.
That's true. I've been in 2 casinos. I've sat down at one blackjack table. Let's put it that way.
Okay, all right.
If you were to get married, I know that you're swinging and single. We talked about it yesterday. Why would I get married? I don't know. But if you were to get married, okay, and you can have your famous Las Vegas chapel wedding that you see in all the movies, and you could pick any celebrity in the world to be your officiant or whatever that's called, to officiate this wedding, who would it be?
Will Ferrell.
I got to tell you, he'd
That'd
be
be a great
hysterical. That'd be a great wedding. It'd be a great wedding.
You might get roasted though, so you gotta be ready for that.
Yeah, no. Would he do his Anchorman stuff? Who knows?
That's the thing. Like, who do you
take
pick?
his shirt off? He'd have his shirt off. He'd his underwear. He always seems to be in his underwear on every movie he's in. He's like it's in his underwear. Okay, true or false? More people eat shrimp in Las Vegas than the rest of the United States combined.
When I'm in Las Vegas,
I'm going false.
You would be incorrect, sir.
Yeah.
True. 60,000 pounds of shrimp is consumed per day. And let me tell you, last night I had the pleasure of eating a catch. I had 6. So I had 6.
110,000.
I had 6 of that 60,000 pounds of shrimp. If you were part of the real Ocean's 11 movie, you remember Ocean's 11?
I do.
And you needed to recruit one more person to help you in this robbery of this casino. Who would you choose, me or Sterling, to be that number 11?
Oh man, am I going to break Sterling's record right now?
I don't know.
Look at him flash me those eyes right now.
Who would you want?
Sorry, look at this guy. Look at him. I'm signing him in. Sorry,
It's Sterling. Everyone is picking Sterling Douglas to be part of Ocean's 11. Frazier, thank you so much for the second time. Love what you're doing at tables. Honestly, can't wait to hang out with you in New York at B-Works. Get back over that alley and start selling people because at 4:45 today, they were announcing the winner. And let me tell you,
it could be you.
My $53 better pay off.
I just spoke to Carissa and I just slipped her a 20.
Oh, we're up to 73.
And wrote tables on it.
Yeah, and wrote tables. So thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it, man.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
I got to tell you, man, I love what Tables is doing. I love Frazier. I love that whole thing. I mean, I would say really he is right. It is really for full service.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of full service.
It's just more unique and novel, especially at conferences like this where you see a big QSR focus.
I totally agree. Listen, we've got another phenomenal guest. I mean, it's just really incredible. Another second-time guest. It's the president and CEO of Wow Bao, Jeff Alexander. Had the pleasure of having dinner with him last night. It was absolutely delicious. Jeff, thank you for dinner last night. President of Wow Bao, second-time guest. Tell us a little bit about Wow Bao and what you're doing, because every day I hear more about Wow Bao. Amazon selling Wow Bao? Is this true?
Well, first off, you should thank me for dinner for 2 nights, because we went out 2 nights for dinner.
Okay,
and second of all,
I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. I invited you to dinner tonight, and you said you can't go.
And on Saturday Night Live, you get a jacket on your 5th time on the show. Do I get anything for my 2nd time on the show?
Just want to make sure. This is number 11, and I've literally got nothing but this hat.
But it is my first time doing it with you, Sterling.
I gave you another hat. All right, listen, tell us a little about Wow Bao.
What's going on with Wow Bao?
Crushing it. It's one of my favorite models in the entire world is Wow Bao.
Thank you. So we've been very fortunate. We've done over 700 virtual or dark kitchens in the last 2.5 years between the United States and Canada. We recently got involved e-commerce with Walmart.com and Amazon.com. We're now available, so we're shipping across the country.
That's direct to consumer. So that's
direct to
me.
consumer.
I can just go on to Walmart.com as a consumer and get Wow Bao now.
Yes, you can.
That is awesome. That is just awesome.
Pushing the envelope.
No, but you just keep those in the freezer and it's just always there. Just so easy to eat.
Well, what we also did is we partnered with a sushi company that does grocery stores where, you go in the grocery store and they have the sushi counter. You just pick it and go. Mm-hmm. We partnered with them back in September. And since October of 2022, we've launched 1,000 grocery stores now are selling the product. And we have another 600 or 700 will be live by the end of the summer.
Can you take me for dinner tonight again? I mean, honestly, with all this growth, I think dinner tonight is on Jeff. Am I wrong?
Is this one of the single fastest growing restaurant brands? It's got to be up there with these kind of numbers.
I consider it one of the fastest growing, and I'm going to take Sterling to dinner tonight.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm going to say thank you.
All right, listen, as an operator, and you've been a long-time restaurant operator, what have you learned so far from the Startup Alley?
It's just amazing how every year there's just the technology that comes out, which you don't expect there to be. I don't know how people come up with these ideas of what we need in the restaurant industry. And we didn't think that we needed this stuff. But it's just amazing what's going on out there. The Path Spot that's out there, they won it a couple of years ago, and they're sponsoring the Startup Alley this year. Their stuff is so cool where, you wash your hands and it tells you if you need to wash it more, how often. Yeah. It's just unbelievable, the stuff that's going on. And then with Frazier and his team that was just in here, it's just very, very cool. Very exciting.
You know, I come to a lot of these shows. I see you at a lot of these shows. We have a lot of fun.
There's a lot of dinners with him.
a lot of dinners, a lot of drinks, a lot of good. You know, a lot of good stuff happens. Not just on the conference floor. It's really the connectivity and the networking, et cetera. I mean, there's a core group of vendors and operators that attend a lot of these shows. Both Sterling and I are in that club with you. I mean, we come to a lot of these shows. While each show has its own theme or target operator focused on, there's multi-unit, there's full service, all the different types. Can you share what keeps you coming back to MURTEC? Is it just seeing me? Is it the ability to have dinner?
It's the ability to take me out to dinner.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's like
the eternal search for a single thing.
Last night at dinner, he invited me to dinner to RLC, the next show. I just think you love having me at dinner.
I do. Well, actually, I invite you to dinner
with the schmucks. That's why I like bringing you.
Exactly. But you always take me out for drinks afterwards. So there is a play. Yes. There is a ploy here, right? I get dinner. You get dinner, but I get the drinks. No, look, the restaurant industry is built on connections and it's built on people and relationships. And I come to these conferences for the networking, the connections. I'm based in Chicago. You know, I don't get to see you except, you know, I'm not in New York that often. You're not coming to Chicago that often. So
you never invite me to Fire Island.
Would you come?
If you invite me in August when it's beautiful, why wouldn't I?
All right, maybe I'll invite you this summer. We'll see.
All right, you see what I did there? Got a little Fire Island trip planned.
He's probably going to get dinner out of it.
Dinner, Fire Island. I'm loving this. Yes.
No, but look, it's about just the connections and talking to people and continuing those relationships. We get to share such ideas and perspectives on the industry, on life and technology and what's going on that you don't have access to unless you're in person and doing those things. And to see how the conference circuit has grown over the last 18 months coming out of COVID, it's just been, you know, when the conferences first started back up, they were really intimate and it was just, everyone was so happy to be out and you just had such a better way to connect. And now we're all full blown and back and there's so many more people and there's so much more to share and see and food to enjoy.
And almost all of them are bigger than they were pre-COVID.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
More and more attendees. I mean, look, Wow, you've got amazing growth numbers. We talked about the locations, the Amazon deals, but not only are you pushing the envelope on growth, you're also pushing the envelope on, you know, emerging tech. You know, Wow was recently, I think you announced that you were tapping into Web3. Right.
We are,
you had NFTs and your loyalty program. You're doing stuff in the metaverse. Can you share a little bit more about that?
Yeah. One thing you also left out of the technology is we have hot food vending machines. We're in 3 states with vending machines where you can get food hot out of it. And I know. Every day we have another announcement.
Farmers fridges at the airport now? Like there's like
there's
Wow things like that?
But it's hot. It's hot food.
Really?
Yeah. So we're in Florida, we're in Georgia, we're here in Vegas.
Now, are you doing that like a managed food company?
There's a company out of Florida, Automated Retail, and they created this. For 7 years, I've been chasing hot food vending machines, and we found one group who could do it a few years ago, but they didn't survive. And then we got with Automated Retails. It's called Just Baked. They do cookies and Cinnabons in there and some other White Castle sliders. But now they're doing actually fully branded Wow machines.
Wow.
At airports.
Wow.
Wow. Listen to you guys.
Wow.
That was in unison. It sings right there. Double wow.
That is awesome.
But yeah, we see this could be from airports to military bases to college dorms and police stations. Like these could be everywhere. And we are very excited.
My apartment, wouldn't that be cool?
It might fall through the floor. These things are these are very heavy.
Maybe we could put one in B-Works, you know?
Yeah, I'd love that there. And is it just like can you just use your phone to pay?
You can use your phone to pay or you can use credit card for it. And we do bao in it. We do egg rolls in it. We're getting ready to launch fried rice into it.
They just heat them up?
Yeah. It is like a super power.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, you're doing everything. I mean, you're doing the e-com, you're doing emerging.
And I'm doing this podcast.
And
has time for a
dinner,
podcast.
And you have time for dinner. Schatzy, what could possibly be next? What's the next thing and the next big announcement we're going to see from Wow?
Well, you touched on the metaverse, the Web3, and the NFTs. Our minting will be coming out in a couple of months, which we're tying into our rewards program. You know what I'm trying to get to, and in the metaverse is we want to have our vending machines there. So when you're in the metaverse and you're submerged in your gaming or whatever it is you're doing, you could find a Wow machine and basically push a button, order, and without leaving your experience, food gets delivered to your house. We think that would be a full immersion in how you're enjoying yourself.
Real bow gets delivered to your house while you're still in the metaverse.
Yes. We think that could be really cool. So we're working towards that. That'll take a little bit, but that's something we're very excited to do. And you know, what's next? If you had asked me 3 months ago what was next, I wouldn't have known about the sushi counters. So we just have lots of opportunity. And I got a great team of people who are hard at work right now while I'm here having drinks and dinner with you guys.
We're working hard,
to,
okay? Easy, Tiger. We're working. I mean, those dinners are work, baby.
Hey, Chicago, that's city of broad shoulders. We're hard workers there. So,
right, I got to get Jeff back out there. He's got more wow bow deals to do. He's got some more wow bows. I think he just made a deal to have the vending machines at the Paris.
Yeah,
I think I saw him talking to
is that breaking news?
F&B director.
How do you get this breaking news? How do you find the stuff out?
We know what's happening.
Schatzy
we have
knows people.
Yeah, so listen, real quick before we go, Branded Quickfire Las Vegas edition. I'm going to ask you 5 questions. Are you ready?
Sure.
Favorite movie that takes place in Las Vegas?
It's got to be one of the oceans. Right?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Just any ocean.
Okay. Well, I was maybe Con Air. You ever see Con Air?
Yeah, of course. Wasn't that with
Nicolas
Travolta
Cage.
and Nicolas Cage?
Cage.
Or no?
Yeah,
Was that
Nick
right?
Cage.
Nick Cage.
Yeah, I love that.
Maybe that one.
Favorite Las Vegas casino?
I only win money in the Paris.
Oh,
wow.
Paris. Listen, it's a classy
there you go.
joint. Okay, if you're going to renew your vows, and you're going to do it here in Vegas at one of these wedding chapels, and you could have any celebrity officiate this new renewing your vows, who would it be?
Oh, God, I don't know how you answer that kind of question. Can I have you do it?
Oh,
Yes,
I was waiting.
I love it. Thank you very much. Thank you. I am now considered a celebrity who will be officiating Jeff Alexander's renewing his vows. That is an honor.
What's that $20 bill doing on the table?
I hope my wife doesn't divorce me.
I got to tell you, I love it. True or false? The fountains and man-made lakes in Vegas are all salt water.
There's no way that's true. That's got to be false.
That is false, sir. You cannot get it by him. The fountains are man-made lakes, and they use gray water, which is actually recycled water from sinks, bathtubs, toilets, and showers. I added the toilets in there, by the way. It didn't say that. I just added the toilets in there. That's disgusting.
I believe that's
sewage.
I think that's different than gray water, Schatzy.
In there into the sink, and that's going into the fountain?
We might have to fact check that.
Oh, that is disgusting.
Gives a whole new term to the Bellagio's blowing the water out of the present.
If you were to be part of the real Ocean's 11 and needed to recruit one more person to join the crew, who are you choosing, me or Sterling? I'm already officiating your wedding.
There's no way that you're quiet enough for us to pull off a heist. There's no prayer. No, I got to go with Sterling on that one.
So
I would agree.
Jeff's 11.
I would agree with Jeff.
Good.
Listen, Jeff, you got to go do another deal. You got Walmart. You got Amazon. I mean, there's got to be Kroger. You got to go sell somebody else. There's got to be more deals to have. I will see you later, my friend. Thank you for joining the Hospitality Hangout.
Jeff.
Thank you, guys.
I got to tell you, Jeff Alexander and that Wow Bow, they're crushing it. They're crushing it.
The growth numbers are insane.
I think you're right. I think it's the fastest growing restaurant in the world, maybe the planet.
If he gets 1,000 restaurants coming in this year, I think he's got to get it.
I understand, and may not be breaking news. I understand he is launching his Wow Bow with Elon Musk up to the moon.
Up to the moon. So he's going to have the first spatial restaurant.
Yes, he will have Wow Bow, the lunar Wow Bow.
Interstellar Wow.
Interstellar Wow Bow is what I'm being told here. Anyway, listen, we've got another great guest, another operator, a little company called Five Guys, okay? Mm-hmm. They are just a little burger joint, and we are delighted to have Zarek Pearson, CIO, that stands for Chief Information Officer.
Correct.
Also, Startup Alley Judge. So we are going to talk to Zarek, and not only is he going to tell us ahead of time who won.
He's going to share it on the podcast.
Yes, on the podcast. Yes. He doesn't know that yet, but that's what we're going to try and get out of him. So listen, Zarek, thank you for joining us. Give us a quick background to yourself and what you're doing over at Five Guys.
Sure. Thanks for having me, gentlemen. So as you said, I'm the CIO for Five Guys. I manage all IT for the brand globally. We are in 26 countries, and it's a very fun ride.
26, how many stores?
Around 1,700 plus minus.
1,700 stores. And started, was it in D.C.? Where did it start?
Yes, we located in the Arlington market, yes.
Right? Unbelievable ride.
And
Unbelievable.
it's amazing story and an amazing company to work for, helmed by an amazing family.
Is it still the family?
It's still family owned.
Oh,
family owned and
man,
operated.
that is awesome.
I couldn't think of a better person to be a Startup Alley judge. Zarek is the man, the myth, the legend, man. Since even when I first started Chally, we were a tiny company, Zarek was talking to us.
Yes.
He is always pushing the envelope on the newest tech. He helps them build it. He's an evangelist.
You don't become a CIO of a 1,700 unit famous brand unless you know a little something. Yeah, you got to know a little something.
No, it's amazing. So when it comes to implementing all this new tech and what you're seeing in the Startup Alley, which side of the line are you on in the build versus buy? Since you have such a large restaurant group, you've got all this experience. I'm sure you face that decision constantly when evaluating new tech.
Sure. It depends on the size of the brand or the concept, right? If you're looking at globally, right, there's a host of requirements for different countries around data, tax, integration, you name it. So that's part of the conversation. If you're going to build something for a global brand, you have to understand the compliance requirements in every country you're in versus buying, right?
I mean, it's the states, it's the cities, it's the local, it's the federal, it's everything.
And then there's also some of the privacy things, right?
Yeah, of course.
Every country, GDPR, we have California's rules.
I was going to say states are starting to have more privacy rules.
So
I don't like it. I don't like one bit.
Well, gone are the days, right, where someone say, we have all this data, what do you want? You would just say everything and did whatever you wanted with it. And now you have to clearly define what you need, why you need it.
So you can't just give everyone's credit card information away.
Correct.
Got it.
Absolutely.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. You can't do it. Is that wrong?
If you want it at all. Now, we mentioned as I came in, there's a host of CDP type products out there for managing customers, engaging customers. And a lot of that begins and ends with credit card transactions, right?
Yeah.
So those conversations are happening everywhere.
No, that's amazing, and that sounds like a whole host of challenges that I'm sure keep your job very, very interesting. As an operator, what have you learned so far from the Startup Alley participants as you've been walking through?
Who do you like? Who do you think?
And who's going to win?
Can't let the cat out of the bag, but we actually the winner's chosen by the crowd tonight.
I thought you choose.
No,
we choose the finalists.
We choose the finalists.
Three.
The final three, and then we all vote.
Correct. So tonight there'll be a presentation.
So Tables is in the final three.
I think maybe.
I cannot speak to any of that.
He smiled when I said Tables. That's all I know.
He's got a poker face.
I'm horrible at holding secrets.
As our listeners know, I am a New Yorker, and although Jimmy thinks I'm a New Jerseyer, but I mean, I've lived in New York now for 30-something years. I feel like that qualifies me to be in New York, even though I was born in Jersey. I just learned yesterday that there is a secret bar speakeasy in the back of Five Guys Greenwich Village.
Well, it's not a secret anymore.
Is this true?
I can't speak to it. If you wander,
so there could be a speakeasy.
You can neither confirm nor deny.
Absolutely.
Okay, not confirm nor deny. Correct. So we think there could be.
So let's say hypothetically there was. How would something like that even come about?
We have a host of very innovative and creative operators, right? We are partly corporate, partly franchise.
So is that a franchise unit there?
I believe so,
it is.
But
all right.
I don't know the ownership of each store off the top of my head, so I have to check.
Feeling was the first 1,000.
But a lot of our innovation, a lot of our best ideas come from our franchisees, right? They're business owners. They have a wealth. So they make the brand better.
Speakeasy that may or may not be in the back of the Greenwich Village store. Do you think, based on if it's successful, could that be something that other operators embraced from Five Guys and Five Guys corporate?
Can't speak to it.
Maybe one in Chicago?
I got to tell you, I think it's great that you were a judge because we can't get anything out of this.
I know.
I mean, I got to tell you.
Lock's safe.
Who or what have you been most excited to see at the show? Not just the alley, just here at MURTEC. Like, what theme, what are you seeing that you're like, wow, that's really interesting. I'm thinking about bringing that type. That's what I need at Five Guys.
So I think coming out of COVID, right, a lot of folks rushed solutions to market to just stay open, remain open, off-premise solutions.
Sure.
Yeah. And some of them are a little ragtag, you name it, right? Now, post-COVID, everyone expected you to go back and make a much more cohesive, frictionless experience, right? So last year, that's what you saw. A lot of off-premise technology to make a better customer experience. I think with folks looking at some of the economic indicators, what's coming, everyone's now working on customer engagement.
Yep.
So at every show, I'm seeing a host, and NRF are similar, right? There's just a slew of customer CDPs, customer data platform products coming to find better, more creative ways to engage your customer. And some of them are very creative and very different in their approaches, right? So
it's more than just discounting or a virtual punch card now on the engagement side. Yeah.
So for any operator that couldn't make it to MURTEC, what should they know? What should they be thinking about right now as far as technology goes that's in the pipeline? Is it, if you don't have customer engagement platform, you got to get one now? Is it loyalty? Is it rewards? What should they be thinking about right now?
So as a brand, we don't do loyalty. It's off brand for Five Guys. I'd say everyone should be finding some way, excuse me, to engage with their customers as best you can. Right?
So is it email, text messaging?
The world's your oyster when it comes to those things. And the more creative, the better, right?
Yeah.
I would say stop and see what works for you, because what works for the next guy may not be where you fit.
Right.
And get creative.
You think instead of loyalty, the focus is really trying to figure out who are your customers and how do I engage with them?
That's what everyone's trying to do, right? It's not just about freebies anymore. It's about an experience.
I think the restaurant business is one business that always felt that to engage with guests, give them something free, give them a discount. I mean, happy hour, which is in my opinion, it's probably the oldest form of dynamic pricing. It's basically, it's half price from 4 to 6. Even if the person was coming to your bar or your restaurant anyway, they're getting half price. It was just half price. That was our deal. You know, and to your point, it doesn't have to all be discounts. The engagement can just be something, I know you like whatever.
Correct.
You know, we've got a new burger and I know you like burgers.
New items, soft openings. Heck, even in off-premise, sending me a sticker is like one of my favorite things. I slap it on the water bottle and I get to carry the brand. Like that, those are the type of ways you can
and especially with inflation and costs going up and labor costs going up, I just don't think that discounting is the right approach. I think to your point, you got to find your customers and what's your niche and engage with them and then and segment. So you can say these people like vegetarians and they
sure. It's really about connecting right? In any way, in as many ways as you can, right? Again, there's so many channels and so many ways to do it. It's not a short list, but see what works for you. And there's a host of very creative people working to solve these problems for you.
All right, our listeners out there, all three. Zarek has just told you what you need to do. Now I'm going to turn to the best segment of all podcasts. We are going to do right now.
The branded Quickfire.
The branded Quickfire Las Vegas edition.
Let's go.
Zarek, are you ready?
Let's go. 5
lightning round questions. Don't think too hard. Don't think too long. Favorite movie that takes place in Las Vegas?
Hangover.
All right, 2 hangovers.
Second hangover. By the way, it really is one of my
I feel
favorite.
like I had 2 hangovers
really is.
this morning.
Favorite Las Vegas casino?
Ooh, tough one. Probably Caesars.
Oh, second Caesars. Caesars is famous. It's like, it's just classic. It's if you were to get married or renew your vows at a famous Las Vegas chapel, that Las Vegas chapel style wedding, and you could pick any celebrity in the world to officiate this either marriage or renewing your vows, who would you pick?
So my wife would want it to be a sports figure. My wife is a sports nut.
And then who would you lean into?
She's Chicago Bears. She'd want Ditka.
I can get on board with
like
that.
Michael Jordan, I thought you were going to say.
No,
she wants Ditka.
So I would tell you, when I met her in college, she had a wall of Michael Jordan, a wall of Walter Payton, and told me I was a solid number 3. So I know where I fall, right?
You know where you fall.
Hey, man, there's 3 of those 2. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I think it's she liked. So it was LeBron. It was MJ, and then it was Walter.
And then him.
And then you.
I'm a solid number 3.
Very good company, by the way,
Yeah.
All right, listen. Who was the first singer to hold a residency in Las Vegas? First singer to hold a residency in Las Vegas.
Ooh,
when I say the answer, it's going to be really
Is
obvious.
it going to be like Sammy Davis Jr. or
It's a good guess.
or
It's a
Sinatra?
good guess.
Yeah.
Another good guess.
Dean
It's
Martin?
Elvis, the king.
Of course.
When you think of Vegas, the
Yes.
king, it's Elvis. Okay. If you were to be part of the real Ocean's 11.
Well, no, this would be Zarek's 11.
Yeah, but yeah. If you were to be part of the real Ocean's 11 and you needed to recruit one more person to be part of this outfit to go and rob a casino, who would you choose, Sterling or I, to help you out in this robbery?
Ooh, Sterling.
That's a clean
sweep
for today.
Clean sweep.
Everyone thinks I can rob a casino. I don't know if that's a good thing.
I don't know either, but I was told that I'm too loud,
you're
too
noisy,
I'm too obnoxious.
You don't have enough hair.
Yes. All right, listen, Zarek, I know you got a lot of work to do. You got some judging to do. Who do you think's going to win?
No idea.
You see what I did there?
You
I tried at the end there to be the old, all right, thanks, Zarek. This is awesome. Who's going to win? He didn't take the bait. Didn't take the bait. All right, Zarek, we are looking forward to voting for the Startup Alley. Thank you so much for joining the Hospitality Hangout, and love what you're doing at Five Guys, and can't wait to go check out that speakeasy that may or may not exist in Greenwich Village.
Well, guys, thank you. I appreciate
so much,
being
man.
here.
And go take care of that smoky coffee you got.
Yeah, it's killing me here. That's the downside of Vegas, but thank you.
Thanks, brother.
Take care,
man. I got to tell you, great guest. Eric is doing amazing things. Did he say how long has he been the CIO over at Five?
As long as I've been in the space.
Over 10 years? It's over 10 years.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. It was awesome. Listen, I got to tell you, it's been a great cast. Sterling, you've always been a great co-host. Thank you to our listeners. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in to this very special episode of the Hospitality Hangout live from Paris in Las Vegas. And we know there are hundreds of billions and trillions of podcasts out there to choose from. And we love that you're hanging with us. If you want to get in touch with any of our guests directly, you can email us at podcast@brandonstrategic.com. And we're happy to make the introduction. And let me tell you, we had some great guests today. You can always just email us and we'll make the introduction. Listen, I want to give a very, very, very special thank you to Sterling Douglas for jumping in today, for the injured, my partner and my brother from another mother, Jimmy, the finance guy, Frischling, jumping in today. Thank you. And while we love to name drop as often as possible, it was even better having you today as my co-host. You had big shoes to fill, my friend.
I think Jimmy's size 8 shoes.
Yeah. I don't even think he's an 8. I've seen it. He's really a very small foot.
It's a women's 8?
It's almost like they're
women's
8. They're like pig's feet. They're just like little things.
Little hooves?
Yeah, like little hooves. He really has very small feet. I don't know how he dances. I got to be honest. I don't know how he dances at all. But thank you, Sterling, for being a co-host. Thank you to all of our fantastic guests out for joining us. To our listeners, thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. I think we said that already. And if you want to subscribe,
I'm throwing off your flow.
Go to the Branded Hospitality Hangout and subscribe. Thank you, everybody. Cheers. Sterling, thank you again.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Awesome. Cheers, everybody.